Hello Geeks and Gamers, Matt Lemke here with True Gamer Goggles. Today we have another figure forge for you. This figure forge is on Robotech RPG Tactics. It's the Valkyrie Guardian mode fighter. He's not, warrior pod, the halfway between the fighter and the Battleoid mode for the Robotech game. If you're a Robotech fan, you know exactly what I'm talking about. And yeah, I stumbled and I stuttered. I want to thank everybody who just recently was a part of my Kickstarter for Season 4. You were a tremendous help. I hope that I can live up to, no, I don't hope, I will live up to the standards of things that I put forward, and we are going to improve it. So please check it out. If you don't know what I'm talking about, do a search for True Gamer Goggles Kickstarter on Season 4. And there'll be more good stuff coming. So basically, we're going to go ahead and we're going to get started. I'm going to slide these things off here. All the parts that we need to complete this model. Before I actually go any farther, though, I am only going to go ahead, for the sake of saving time, and do the one-piece head. The other head, there's actually two one-piece heads, and the other heads have slightly more pieces. But since, it's a figure forge, the basics you want to understand are putting together the models and the way they go together. So basically, we're going to grab the legs, and we're going to go like this real quick. And we're going to drop glue into them. Well, the other thing I didn't do is I didn't include the stand with this model because I don't really see the point in doing that little bit of extra work for this particular video. Woohoo! Spin the leg, new game. Set that one there. Push. Set those off the camera. Then I'm going to grab the body and I'm going to glue the body in. I think. Let me double check the body real quick. Let's see if it works the way I think it does. Actually, before I get too carried away, a little bit of file in there. Now, it's important to note that when you do your legs, that the body gets squeezed together like that. The legs actually have helps if I put them on the right side. There they are. I knew they had a little divot in the back where the leg goes. Now, notice where my fin is. That is the wrong side. The fin goes to the outside of the model because when the leg folds up, it's going to be like that in fighter mode, or wherever it would actually end up. So it's important to note that the fin, right here, this little fin, goes to the outside of the model. And that's not a perfect fit, so I'm going to do a little bit of filing on that. And I don't have any of my knives down there. I actually left them at my mom and dad's over Easter. I was doing some modeling up there with my dad on his model railroad stuff. So I left them there. So we're going to make this work as best we can with the tools we have. That's a better fit, and I'll be happy with that. The other way to notice which way the legs go is the big toe is to the front of the model. The other thing to note is the arms. Something to note of importance on the arms is that they go in here, and it's important to note on your arms for the Veritechs, the Guardian mode, or any of the Veritechs that have the arms, this trapezoid portion this angled portion goes to the inside of the model. This is the inside of the arm here. And you can put it in there, you can pivot it up and down as much as you want. So I'm going to go ahead and glue the body and get one little drop right there, the schmear. Tap some of that schmear off. Now I'm going to fit the wings immediately. Make sure I can get them in there, because you don't want to come back and have to do any cutting or carving, and they'll both fit. And I'm actually going to save the wings for last on this model. Next step is let the body dry a little bit and go to the forearms of the model. Now, if you're doing this assembly line fashion at home, which is the best way to put together this box set, this is part of the 2-player box set. So the best thing to do is figure out what kind of get an idea of what you want to do with it, and just crank through the same pieces. Now, it's important that with this particular model that it only has one peg, and because it only has the one peg, you don't want to do something like that. So line it up. What I like to do is I just push it flush against that, the tabletop, or whatever I'm working with, and I lay it down and I let it dry after that. Now, you might notice there's going to be some filing there. I chose to do it this way because I think it's actually easier to put it together and then file it. Now, the arms in and of themselves go together pretty easy. But we'll get to that in a minute. Gonna let the forearms dry a little bit, bring the legs back on, bring the wings back on, well, not the wings, bring the head back on. The head goes all the way back here. So I'm gonna go ahead and put a small drop of glue in there. Like that. Now with what I'm doing, I'm sure I'm going to knock that off. At home I would let this set up a little bit, center it as best you can. And no matter what I do now, without letting it dry longer, I'm going to have issues. So I'm going to go ahead and attempt to do the legs. And I'm going to hold it and let it dry. And carefully, I'm going to try and do the other side. Might just put a little too much glue on there, so I'm going to wipe some of that off. Try not to move the model too much. Which is pretty actually difficult to do. Now the next thing I think that should be done is the wings, or the arms. And again, pay attention, that trapezoid part goes to the inside. Oh, maybe I don't want to do the wings or the arms, because, well, they can kind of only go in there one way. Oh, darn it. Now at home, I suggest you paint this model first. Because as I'm putting this guy together, I'm seeing that there's a lot of areas that are going to be hard to get a brush into. And it looks like the arm is only going to go in one way unless you put it in first. And that is going to go there like that. So I'm going to go ahead and just put a drop of glue in there. Before I do that, I want to look at the other side. The reason why I want to take a look at the other side is the positioning. Because this arm holds the weapon, so knowing the angle of the arm could be pretty important, and turning it could even be more important. So the arm's supposed to go like that. And then this piece, which that doesn't really make much sense to me. I must have cut off the wrong arm. Oh well, we'll make do. We'll fix it and we'll make it work. Actually, I got the box right here. I'll fix it here real quick. But this arm, or hand I should say, goes in like that. So you got the trigger there, and then the arm on the other side is supposed to plug in there like that. Now, we're going to see where it ends up. I'm going to pull this arm out. I'm going to use this arm and glue it in. And actually, I'm going to see real quick if there's a different... Right arm? Yeah, that's the correct arm. And I'm going to glue that in there real quick. Put a drop of glue here. I'm going to go ahead and put that arm in here. Oh, can I put it backwards like that? It'd be funny if I could make them dragging like a battle pod. So I'm going to put that in there. And again, there's a good bit of variety that you can have with these guys. I'll just look around the internet and see some of the different pictures of things that people have already done. And now, while that is waiting to, or kind of drying, I'm going to go ahead and do I want it like that? Yeah, I think I do. I'm going to go ahead and put a small drop in there. Should be enough. And this is going to slide up underneath the cockpit there, like that. Which is actually quite difficult to hold. And I'm just going to go ahead and put a small drop of glue here. And a drop of glue on the weapon here. Wipe some of that excess off. Now you can see that I have created a model that is very tight, and I clearly avoided the 3-point connection of crossing the arm in front. I am not a fan of those. Next time I will probably spin his arm down a little bit more, or I'll glue his arm together first so that I can get the brush in there a little bit more effectively. And now I got the problem of cleaning that off because I didn't. I was going to file it off after the fact. Yeah, well, definitely not going to put him on his base until he's ready to be painted. And now the last step is the wings. I'm going to put a drop of glue there on that side. I'm going to flip it over right quick, and I'm going to go ahead right to it and do it on the other side. Definitely doing the wings last is a smart thing to do, because they would clearly be in the way. And that is Veritech in Guardian mode. As you can see, I did create a little bit of a dilemma here. I should drop, in fact, I'm going to try and, I'm probably going to break it right now, but there. I managed to rotate it down enough that I can still get a brush in there. It's going to be a little tight underneath maybe, but that's okay. I can live with it being tight underneath. And that is the complete. I'm going to verify here real quick. Doesn't look like I'm missing any of the parts. So, and I avoided doing what I consider the 3-point, even though the 3-point gluing system, I'm not a fan of 3-point joints. So, thanks for watching. This has been a Figure Forge with Matt Lemke from Through Gamer Goggles, gamer-goggles.com. Check back soon. Hopefully in the next 4 to 6 weeks I'm going to be able to come up with the extra money to make it to Palladium Open House for a day or two. It's kind of in my front yard since it's up north, about 4 hours. So I should be able to get up there at least for a day, providing it works into my work schedule. Thanks for watching and have a good day.